4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, just about all of us have had to pivot during the pandemic. Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we'll talk to an expert. In fact, she's in the middle of reinventing herself right now. That's coming up.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show. So when I wrote my book, Free Publicity, some 20 years ago and started going around to networking groups speaking, this is one of the first people I met, Shelli Howlett, formerly with BNI. I guess you're still on the board of their nonprofit, but welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Jeff.
So she is something of a guru when it comes to networking and entrepreneurship. And then after how many years with BNI?
26 plus years.
26 plus years, she decided to reinvent herself. Tell us your story.
That's right. Well, I had been on a lot of committees and a lot of boards locally and giving a lot of time. And so I went to an event and found out about BNI, Business Network International, back in 1993. And I thought, wow, I could do that part-time along with my full-time sales career, sales management. And so I took the chance. I called my banker in Chicago, and I told them all about the franchise opportunity. And after, 3 or 4 phone calls, Jeff, it really got pretty grueling. They were asking all kind of questions. My banker.
Bankers do that sometimes, don't they?
Like, is this a scam? Is this real? Have you done due diligence on this? And finally, I said, Dad, will you please just send the check? I need to get it to the franchisor in L.A. right away.
I love it. That's a great story. So tell us about the growth of BNI, because when you joined in the early 90s, how many chapters were there?
Well, in 1993, there were 250 chapters only.
And how many are there today?
Over 9,200 chapters.
Amazing, amazing. We've got a little video of a conference or convention from a couple of years ago, and you were there, right?
Yep.
So talk to us a little bit about what happens at their global conferences.
Well, first of all, I have to start and say the first conference I went to, there were about 12 of us in a U shape in Orlando, Florida, at a hotel in this small ballroom. And the company has just grown so exponentially. It's been a very good opportunity, an amazing ride for me throughout those years. And there's Graham, the new CEO in the last 6 years, and he's really taken the company and, put it on steroids. And
yes.
So this conference you were looking at was over 2,800 people there.
Amazing.
They were directors, franchise owners, and members from around, especially Asia and India, at that conference.
What is it that makes BNI work? Because I've been, in the networking circles now for 20 years, and some networking groups just fizzle out. So why is BNI continuing to grow?
Well, I think the accountability. We have weekly meetings at the company. There's one person per each profession to join a chapter, and there's just a really undying loyalty to bring referrals for one another. That's what's been really cool, owning BNI for that long.
Okay, so bring us up to date, because you decided, I guess, earlier this year to sell your franchise.
Yes. I decided to sell the franchise, and it occurred on Valentine's Day, and it was an amazing opportunity, and I was able to sell the company to the headquarters of BNI.
That's awesome. And we should note that it was just a week or two later that the country began to shut down.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So you didn't have to deal with all of those challenges that others had to, because you couldn't meet physically anymore, and that becomes a challenge. But I know you're still on the board, and tell us about the foundation that you're a part of.
Sure. It's called the BNI Foundation, and it is over 20 years old. And the whole goal is to help for children in education, and that's globally. And what's really neat about it is we actually partner up with other organizations to give money to, like the Friends of Thai Daughters. And in Thailand, there's a challenge with human trafficking.
Yes.
Especially with the girls. So I actually took a trip after the conference to go up to Chiang Rai and see their home that they built out for dozens of girls, and it was just really a worthwhile cause. You really feel it in your heart when you see them singing and dancing and bringing you tea, and they're just very sweet. And
well, you were telling me off camera that you decided to go ahead and adopt, right? So tell me about that.
Yeah, little girl named Pim, and she's about 12, and we just, how it works is we pay monthly to support that person, and it covers their grade school, high school, and puts them all the way through university. So these young women can go out. Some want to become a nurse, a teacher, just dentist. I mean, it's pretty empowering to think that I was so concerned about my career and what I needed to do when I was a young woman, and then to be able to go back now and support somebody across the world is really thrilling.
That's really cool. Now let's get up to the current day. Now you're reinventing yourself. You actually have some office space. We're going to show some pictures. It's a beautiful office space. Where is it?
In Plano, Texas,
okay.
At Spring Creek and Coit.
And who would be a good tenant for this space?
Yes, a good referral would be a doctor, a dentist, chiropractor, perhaps a CPA or attorney that are looking for private space with multiple entrances. And what's cool is it's easy to drive up. It's easy to have appointments there, and it's near all the freeways.
That's cool, and it's just too much space for you now. You don't need it without your training and coaching. So, right. What are you planning on doing? It's like a second childhood. You get to do anything you want now, don't you?
Well, I've been on a short sabbatical, which has been interesting, and it's been refreshing. I am looking at some other business related to small businesses and helping them also succeed in a capacity that would help them to run their businesses more efficiently and connect. And so I'm excited.
Well, you just have such a wealth of knowledge from all of those years of networking. Give advice to people who might be between opportunities, and I've always say you got to circulate to percolate. There's a lot of people who are trying to do it behind the computer, but you still got to get out there, don't you?
That's right. I think, especially for young professionals now, it is easy to get stuck behind a device, whether it's your phone or your laptop. And I think you have to really get out there and earn it. It's no different than what it was when we were very young in our career.
Right.
You have to get out, meet people, talk to people, build some relationships, go to events, whether they're virtual or soon live in the next 6 months, because that's where things happen. It's magic.
And there's a right way and a wrong way to network. Let's talk about some do's and don'ts, because I've been in networking groups, and I know you have too, where you just feel like it's a bunch of insurance salesmen all trying to sell you something, and those groups never last. They don't stick around very long. What's the art of proper networking? Well,
that could go on for a while.
Sure.
I would say definitely the more soft approach is appropriate. Always, of course, have your business cards and have certain things prepared with you, but you really want to make sure you don't go in with the wrong questions, like, well, how many employees do you have, and when was the last time you had your insurance evaluated? And you've just met the guy
Right.
like 3 minutes ago, and you're thinking to yourself as owner or decision maker, like, what is this person thinking? Get away. And so it actually is a deterrent.
Yes. Yes, and that's what I like about the way you organized your groups, is that you really said up front, you set the tone at every meeting. This is what this group is about.
Right. And it's about meeting together with people one-to-one, whether it's having coffee or a short meeting, lunch or something like that. But it gives you the opportunity to build long-term, because we can all go out and try to force a sale and get the sale, but getting referrals to spin off of other business we've done with people is a big deal.
Absolutely. Well, we're almost out of time, so give some final thoughts. That's your camera right there. What would you like to say to the viewer?
I would just say that, keep educated. We are really big with BNI about lifelong learning. So I'm a big fan of reading Dallas Business Journals, DCEO, a lot of other national publications and stuff. And I'm always signing up for some kind of seminar or, something to learn. And even just being, Jeff, at your studio this morning has been super educational. I love business, and I love to, expand.
Thank you. Yeah, I think all entrepreneurs have to be curious, don't they? And just kind of see how somebody else is doing something and kind of look under the hood and see how it works.
Yeah. We all learn that way.
That's awesome. We're going to put up your LinkedIn page so everybody can get in touch. Shelli Howlett, thank you so much for being on the show. You've been amazing.
Thank you, Jeff. I sure appreciate it.
You bet. And that's it for now. We'll see you next time.